record that I know him, and I know him reasonably well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you say Honorable Shikeleng has laid a charge against a minister. Which minister?
Nkunu.
Okay.
Yeah, but some time ago, it had nothing to do with this committee, but it does give rise to at least a reasonable perception of bias. A reasonable perception of bias, as opposed to a perception of bias.
Okay. So where you stand, you feel that there is a reasonable perception of bias?
Yes, Chair, and that is why we have withdrawn her.
Okay. So Honorable Thorpe is the one that will be coming in.
Yes, Chair, he's a member of the Justice Portfolio Committee, and he will replace Honourable Shikeleng. The letter went to the Speaker this morning, so early this morning. So we'll await the reply.
Okay. No, I always restrain myself to say, Honorable Member, can you please rise? So let me just say, raise your hand, so that I can't make you to rise. You just raise your hand, and South Africans who are following us on television will then know who is Honorable Thorpe. So you are an alternate member in this committee. We welcome you. And we must also inform you that the committee has agreed on the participation of alternate members during the proceedings. They do not have the right to vote in terms of the rules, and sometimes their participation is limited to the discretion of the chairperson. Honorable Breitenbach has used the word reasonable. This is the word that is pervasive in this hall or in this proceeding. So you have a very benevolent chairperson, so you must not be worried. And we are trying by all means to ensure that there is equal treatment of all the alternate delegates that we have here. So we invite you to enjoy the privileges that are being enjoyed by the rest of the members and the alternates. Senior Counsel, before we administer oath on General Sibiya, can I check if you want to say something?
Thank you, Honourable Chair, honourable members. Yeah, just in relation to honourable member and advocate Breitenbach, I did on Friday, when I became aware of the founding affidavit in the application before the Gauteng High Court, deposed to by Brigadier Kuneni, who's the investigating officer for the search and seizure warrants against General Sibiya, Minister Nkunu, and Mr. Kabinde, that two of the complainants in that matter, other than General Mkonazi, were actually, one was a full member of this committee, the other an alternate member. I brought this to their attention on Friday. I said I intend raising it with you, and I indicated that I think this constitutes a conflict, given our terms of reference, that we will act fairly, and that it's clearly not fair for someone who has been a complainant in a matter against one of our witnesses to also then sit on this committee, having already arguably prejudged the matter, hence the complaint. In the case of the DA, Honourable Member Breitenbach had indicated to me on Friday already that the alternate member would be withdrawn. She agrees. And the other member who's not here, unfortunately, but I understand from his party's communique that I've seen over the weekend, I'm not sure whether it's official yet, that he had been withdrawn anyway. I don't know whether it's because of this issue or some other issue, but we can proceed, Chair, on the basis that, none of the two members are present.
Who is that other member?
Honourable Member Kakana.
We don't have that honourable member in this committee.
Skosana, sorry.
Oh,
Skosana. Sorry, apologies.
Honourable Member Skosana.
Yeah, and I had also been in WhatsApp communication with him, quite a few WhatsApps. He was sitting next to me on Friday.
Okay. No, it's fine. I think the honourable members from MKP have just arrived now towards the conclusion of the matter. Let's not delay the proceedings. I think we will give them a briefing at break so that we do the work of the committee. Chief Whip.
Morning, Chair, and morning to colleagues, and morning to the General and his team. I think, Chair, the issues raised by the Senior Counsel are very important.
Yeah.
Now, we have to avoid a situation where, I understand why you are saying let's defer the matter to brief the colleagues during lunch. But what happens when the member in question walks in and want to participate? My sense is that you might end up with a very bad situation where you are now disrupting the actual proceedings. Rather than, I would advise you, Chair, because the leadership of the MKP is now here, you give them a briefing of what we're talking about and allow them an opportunity to say something about it. I would suggest that we take it in that way, thanks. So that when we begin, we are uninterrupted. Thanks.
Okay. Do you want to say something, Senior Counsel?
Honourable Chair.
Do you want to say something?
Nothing further except just on housekeeping. There's a bundle of additional documents that has now been made available to us by General Sibiya's legal team. We are aware of these documents. We have discussed them with his team, but the committee would not have had sight of them. We have asked for these documents to be made available ASAP. So hopefully that will not prevent us from proceeding. The honourable members will obviously have them before their opportunity comes to ask questions of the general. The delay in them making these documents available is perfectly understandable. They arise from testimony given by General Mkonazi and most recently on Friday by General Masemola. But then our draft statement and their input into that statement was far advanced, so they only had a further opportunity after Friday and over the weekend to review their situation and make these documents available. So in the circumstances, Honourable Chair, I would suggest that we condone, as it were, the late filing of these documents. They are definitely relevant to the issues before the Honourable Committee, and that we should nevertheless proceed. And as soon as the printers have made the other bundles available, the committee members will receive them. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Nomvalo and Honorable Shongwe, good morning and welcome. We read and accepted your apologies, and during the proceedings, when you have not yet arrived, a matter arose regarding two honorable members of this committee, Honorable Shikeleng from the DA and Honorable Skosana from the MKP, that in the documents that have been served at the court, the names of the two honorable members appear as complainants. And so the DA has informed the committee that they have returned to the Speaker of Parliament to inform the office that they are bringing Honorable Klopper as the new member to this committee. And Honorable Klopper is sitting third right, second right from Honorable Breitenbach. And the senior counsel has formally raised this matter here in the proceedings, that there is also the name of Honorable Skosana. And I'm informed that your party has also returned to the Speaker. Can you confirm that?
Chair, no, the party has not returned to the Speaker. In relation to what, Chair, if I may ask?
To the matter of Honorable Skosana being a complainant in the matter involving General Sibiya.
No, as far as I know, Chair, there is no letter to that effect. But Chair, if I may ask, that in accordance with the view of the legal counsel, then what becomes an issue if Honorable Skosana is a complainant? What is the issue? Where is the problem?
Okay. Let me give it to the senior counsel to explain.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Just in response to Honourable Members' query. I initially thought it prudent to raise it privately and directly with the members concerned, albeit in the case of Honourable Member Schikkeling, I messaged Advocate Breitenbach directly because I had a number on my phone. But I raised it with Honourable Member Skosana directly, and I had indicated I'm raising it with you now because I intend to raise it with the chairperson, who will no doubt raise it with the committee. But before we do that, I thought it was prudent that they take a view on it so that I could inform you. I think Honourable Member Breitenbach did so on Friday already during lunchtime. And yeah, and the basis, I think it's with respect pretty clear. Honourable Member Skosana is a complainant. There are two complainants in the criminal matter. if one has regard, I don't know if he had an opportunity of looking at the affidavit filed in the search and seizure application. That affidavit makes it clear that the criminal charges that they intend to bring against, amongst others, General Sibiya, Minister Nkunu, and Mr. Nkabinde, they arise directly from the media briefing given by General Mkunazi on the 6th of July. Our terms of reference relates directly to the 6th of July statement by General Mkunazi. And to the extent that the two complaints, the one has got a CAS number, Cape Town, that's Honourable Member Schikkeling, and the other one has a CAS number in Brooklyn, in Pretoria. They both form the basis of an allegation that Minister Nkunu, General Sibiya, Mr. Nkabinde, they are accused of defeating the ends of justice, and then alternative is that they conspired to do so. And I think it should be pretty self-evident that if you're sitting here on a committee asking a witness questions when you've already laid a complaint, and at best you have formed a prima facie view that that person is guilty of some or other wrongdoing, then I think there is an argument to be made that you shouldn't, in those circumstances, sit on the committee. But Chair, that is exactly why I had indicated to both honourable members that I'm going to raise it with you so that you could discuss it with the committee. Thank you.
Honourable Nomvalo.
Well, Chair, I want to disagree, firstly, with the evidence leader on what he has just said, that by virtue of laying a complaint, you have formulated a prima facie view. That is not true. When you lay a complaint, you are directing the police officers to investigate. The same thing that we're doing here. Prima facie can only be formulated by the police officers through an investigation. Two, it's not Skosana who laid the complaint. Skosana is a messenger of the MK party. It's the MK party that laid the complaint. So, if we are saying conflict of interest arises in that context, then it means we are saying the MK party must not participate here. Because I also share the same sentiments that Skosana shares. And all MK members share the same sentiment, that there is a rot in the police and that warranted our action to lay a complaint. So when you lay a complaint, where does prima facie get in there? You have not formulated any prima facie. You are just saying to the police, there are areas that necessitate investigation, and you have the competency as the police officers to investigate. So that is why, Chair, when I was listening to you unpacking what transpired before we arrived, I was actually confused as to what is the issue here, really, because I was going to understand if there was something that was implicating Honourable Skosana, if maybe in the testimony that will be accused here by General Sibiya, there was the name of Honourable Skosana maybe as one of the suspects on a certain aspect, like in the case of the member of the DA that we are no longer seeing here as part of us. So where is the issue here, Senior Counsel? Where is the issue? You have not really done enough to convince us, except laying statements which are vague and which are not convincing. So, Chair, Up until we're convinced, really, maybe we can start to have a discussion about this. But from where I'm sitting, there is nothing that warrants discussions at this stage because there is actually no issue. We're just fundraising issues, which are neither here nor there.
Senior counsel, in the records that are before the police where the complaint was laid, and the documents that have been served or sent to you by General Sibiya's attorney, what are the names that appear, the names of the honorable members that appear in those documents?
Honorable Chair, honorable committee members. Yeah, it wasn't sent to me by General Sibiya. It was actually sent to me by Minister Mkunu's lawyers. The names that appear are those of Honorable Member Schikkeling of the DA and Honorable Member Skosana of MK. The issue is quite simply one of fairness if you have regard to our terms of reference. It is stated there, the terms of reference obviously that guides and that binds this committee, that we will conduct these proceedings fairly in terms of the rule of law.
Let me check this.
So
the documents that General Sibiya and his lawyers have sent to us, do they have the names of these honorable members?
thank you. It's at page 21 of the no, it's not of the statement. Yeah, but is it in the bundle? No, but it's sorry, it's sorry, it's in the core bundle of documents, which is attached to the which was sent to us yesterday at page 21. That's the same bundle that I referenced and that they're making copies of. And at page 21, paragraph 43 of the which is attached to the court order which was obtained on for the warrant. And this is the affidavit of Brigadier Kuneni, and it reads, further dockets, Cape Town CAS number 402/07/2025, on 10 July 2025, Mrs. Lisa Marie Schikkeling, a member of the National Assembly of the Republic and deputy spokesperson on police for the Democratic Alliance, registered a criminal complaint against Nkunu. She alleged that offences of fraud and the contravention of Section 27 of the Powers and Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislators Act 4 of 2004 by lying to Parliament that he did not know Mogotsi, when in truth he knew him. She claims that, and I quote, "If it is found that the minister intentionally deceived members of Parliament, the minister must be found also to have obstructed these members in fulfilling their duty of oversight through the parliamentary committee, thereby further contravening Section 7A and B, and thus the contravention of Section 27 of the Act." And then the other reference is Brooklyn case number 172/7/2025. On 10 July 2025, Mr. David Mandla Skosana, a member of Parliament representing the MK political party, also opened a criminal case against Nkunu, Sibiya, and others. He alleged that Nkunu may have committed the offences of fraud/forgery and defeating and obstructing the course of justice. The defeating and obstructing the course of justice emanates from the disbandment and disestablishment of the PKTT and the removal of its dockets from KwaZulu-Natal, as alluded to and traversed above. At this stage, the fraud/forgery charge is not clearly set out or explained in Mr. Skosana's statement.
So the document has been sent to us.
It's being printed, Honorable Chair.
Yes, and this document is sent by General Sibiya's lawyer.
Yes.
Okay.
But we had sight of this document on Friday already when it was sent to us by Minister Nkunu's lawyers, and that's why I raised it
And
on
so
Friday.
now the question that is put before this committee is that if I open a case against you or I initiate proceedings, can I come and sit on the other side and ask you questions about matters related thereto?
Honorable Chair, this committee must make findings of fact and make recommendations to the National Assembly. I think there's an even higher duty on an honourable member of Parliament sitting in this committee to observe the rules of fairness. I think most, if not all of us in this room, even before I was appointed as an evidence leader in this matter, we all follow the news, we all read the papers, and most of us, all of us, tend to form some kind of opinion. But that's a lay opinion. But when you find yourself sitting on a committee that now actually, not quite like a court of law, but sitting in judgment of a particular person, I think one is duty-bound for constitutional, legal,
Okay.
and
No,
ethical reasons. But what I wanted to, that's why I wanted to raise it with the Honourable
Yeah,
Chair.
it's fine.
Maybe it's
Let's-
something should have been discussed by the committee separately.
Let's do this first because what we are doing is unfair to General Sibiya. Maybe we may have to recuse him from the proceedings, and then we deal with this matter, we invite him back when I think it's fair. And I want to apologize to you, General, that we have to bring you into discussions like this in your presence. Yeah. Senior Counsel, can you please help the General out, and then we will let him know when we are ready to.
Have I now been deployed as a
You are
parliamentary officer?
You are the one who received him here, so can you please, in the meantime, take him to where he should be? We will wait for you to come back and we deal with the matter. Yeah? No, just to take General Sibiya out and we'll come back. Yeah. Thanks very much, Senior Counsel, for coming back. Honorable members, let me put this matter to you in this way, that there are two members of this committee, Honorable Shikeleng and Honorable Skosana, who have been mentioned in the documents that have been sent to us by General Sibiya and his lawyers, that the two members have respectively laid criminal complaints against Minister Mkunu, General Sibiya, and Mr. Nkabinde in Cape Town and Brook Lane, respectively. So that matter has been brought to the attention of the individual members in the committee. And the Democratic Alliance has come here and announced that Honorable Shikeleng has been replaced by Honorable Thope. And now we are left with the matter of Honorable Skosana. And before I rotate the matter for discussions, can I check, Senior Counsel, is there anything that you want to say?
No, Chair, I was hoping it could be resolved in a matter that avoids me having to look like I'm somehow taking sides or anything. I'm just giving, you've asked me for a view, I've given a view. I think it goes to the heart of fundamental fairness. I was hoping on Friday when I interacted with the two members concerned privately, that it could also be resolved on that basis. So this is a bit unfortunate.
Okay. Thank you so much. Can I start with the African National Congress, or maybe let's give the MK Party first to speak on the matter, and we understand how they view it before we rotate it for discussions.
Yeah, no, thank you once again, Chair. Chair, we are not happy with how the Senior Counsel is approaching this matter. He is not giving any direction, that is number one. He has just narrated the events. That so-and-so opened the case on this date and so on, and says it is up to this committee to make a decision. He does not even go to an extent of raising a legal principle so that we can know where we premise our discussions. I asked, what is an issue here? Is an issue about a conflict of interest? Because if the issue is a conflict of interest, then let us argue from that point. The Senior Counsel just narrates events. He does not cite the law. He does not cite any legal principle that will guide us in this context. The same thing he did when we were discussing the Honorable Barnett matter. He kept quiet. We did not receive any legal advice from him regarding that matter. Whereas he was employed to advise this committee inter alia during the course of its work. He was not only advised to lead evidence and write statements, he was advised to give us legal advices so that we do everything in accordance with the relevant laws. Now, he just narrates like a layperson to say, so-and-so went to a police station, he opened the case, then the committee must decide. He is throwing you, Chairperson, to the deep end because you will make wrong summaries and wrong determinations for this committee which are not in line with the law. As a legal advisor, as the starting point, he must say, this is what the law says in this regard. Then the committee can argue from that perspective, not from a perspective of narrating events, that have been narrated. That thing can be done by anyone. It can be done even by a 6-year-old to say Skosana on this date went and opened the case, then the committee must decide. He's an aspect here. He must play his role. Secondly, Chair, we have said that even on the question of a conflict of interest, it does not arise in this point because Skosana is not a witness before this committee. He went to the police on behalf of the MK party, not on behalf of his family, not on his behalf, not on behalf of his company, but on behalf of the MK party to lay charges against General Sibiya. So if you say on those bases he must be recused, it means you are saying the MK party must be recused. Now the question is, if we were dealing with an ordinary committee here, the the portfolio committee on police, what was going to be the case? Because these matters have been accounted for even before the portfolio committee on police, these matters, after the case was opened by Skosana. So it means you are going to say Skosana must not play his constitutional responsibility as an MP of doing oversight because he opened the case. The case, Chair, is to be investigated by a component falling in a different arm of the state, the police. Parliament is doing its work here as Parliament. We're doing our own investigation, which is not going to be influenced by how the police have investigated this matter. Because we're not only investigating General Sibiya here, we are also investigating the police holistically. So we don't know what is it that we are actually dealing with here. And the senior counsel is not helping this committee, Chairperson. If anything, he is just exacerbating our problems. He comes here and speaks like a layman and say, this is what happened, then you must decide. What does the law say? So that we can argue it from that. If we can approach our lawyers now and say there's an issue in the committee with regards to Honorable Skosana, they will say, but what is the issue? And we will have nothing to say because there is absolutely nothing that is put before us to say here is a crisis. Like we argued the case of Honorable Bernard, that in our view, his continued stay in this committee constitute a conflict of interest. So, Chairperson, we are not sure of what we are discussing here, and in our view, the senior counsel is not doing justice for this committee. He's just exacerbating confusions, and we think he can do better than that. Maybe let's afford him an opportunity to tell us about the law, to say these are the legal principles that are guiding us in this context, and here is my advice as a legal advisor. Thank you very much.
The ANC.
Thanks, Chair. I think to a larger extent, the point that is made by the MK part, I was hoping that before we intervene as other parties, you may allow the senior counsel to properly motivate the argument that he has advanced in terms of it being supported by whatever clauses on our terms of references. And then we can come in now. We do have a view on this matter, but on the legal issues, we think that if he's drawing our attention to any legal matters, we should allow him first, and then we can come in. Thanks.
Okay, I take that point. Senior counsel. Okay, Honorable Breitenbach.
Thank you. Chair, perhaps I may be wrong, but my understanding of this situation is this, that Mr. Arendse and his two junior counsel are here as assistants to the committee in order to place evidence on record. They're the evidence leaders. They're not here as legal advisors to Parliament. Parliament's legal advisors are here. Their job is to supply the committee with legal advice. It's not the job of Mr. Arendse to supply the committee with legal advice. If you want a legal opinion from him, you'll have to brief him and pay him extra. I understand him to be here as an evidence leader, and the role of an evidence leader is completely different to that of somebody giving you legal advice. If we as a committee want legal advice on a position, we must ask Parliament for the legal advice. That's why they're here. Thank you.
Chief Whip.
No, I think, Chair, okay, it may very well be that in terms of how we've been interacting here, we have been looking at the senior counsel and the team almost interchangeably with our legal team, because right from the beginning when we started our work, the understanding was that here is an external team which is coming to work together with the parliamentary team. Now, I have no problem with Honorable Bredelbaki's argument, Glenis's argument that no, that's not what they are meant for, and I don't want us to spend time on that. This is what I want to suggest. I think firstly, we would like to suggest that firstly we want to welcome the decision of the DA to withdraw one of their members on the basis of the court case that has been opened, notwithstanding the fact that the court case may very well be a DA court case as opposed to an individual court case. But the mere fact that the member who happened to participate in that case is one of our own, it therefore suffices that they've taken a correct decision on that matter. Secondly, and I would want to assume that our view as the ANC is that that decision may have not necessarily dependent on certain legal principles, but rather on taking a position on moral ground and understanding the fairness that has got to unfold in the committee like ourselves when we're interacting with the witnesses. Now, I want to propose, Chair, two things. The first one is that the parliamentary legal team should look at this matter, even if they don't advise us now. We are allowed to proceed now with Honorable Skosana in attendance, while we allow them to go and look at the matter and advise us whether there are any legal grounds for him to be recused. However, in an event where his name pops up in the presentation by the witness who's coming here, in the context of him having or being expected later on to answer to certain things that are going to arise from the presentation, we should then agree in principle that we will treat him in the same way that we've treated others. But in terms of the legal standing of his participation here and now, I suggest that we defer that matter to the parliamentary legal team, and in the meantime, we allow the proceedings to resume and proceed with an understanding that will be advised later on whether or not he actually qualifies to remain in the committee. That's our submission as the ANC. Thanks.
Is there anybody who is opposed to that view? Okay. The DA, can I see if the Democratic Alliance wants to take a bite on the proposal?
Chair, we'd like to see the committee move along.
Okay.
So we have no difficulty with the proposal.
Okay. Honorable Sauls.
Chair, we as a committee, and yourself, Chair, we've delayed the issue unnecessarily from day one when we raised the issue of conflict. And we delayed it. The House decided that after the first witness, we will relook at the matter of conflict. After the first witness, I wrote to you. We spoke face to face. You delayed it even further and said we will discuss it in detail this coming Wednesday. Now we're sitting with a similar issue because we didn't make a decision on it. And even in the last meeting, online meeting, virtual meeting, it was agreed that there will be a legal opinion on the matter. Now, we must,
Honorable Sols.
are you recognizing the,
No. I want to say to you that you are an honorable member of this parliament. And this committee is a committee of members of parliament. So when you see a hand of a person who is not a member of parliament, you must not be distracted. Thank you.
no, thank you, Chair. It's just, I was looking at you and you were looking at the
This
hand,
is
but
this is a parliamentary proceeding.
so as I was saying, if we dealt with it and we got the legal opinion in the beginning, we would now not have the need for this proposal to say, let's first get a legal opinion and then we continue. That's the first thing. That's the first reason why I disagree with the proposal, because we have to have that legal opinion already. Then the MKP says that the matter or the criminal case was opened against General Sibiya by Honorable Kosana, but not in his individual capacity, but as a party. If it was in his individual capacity, I would then have proposed Rule 163 of our rules, that they can co-opt someone else when the witnesses who is involved in that case are here. But now that it's the entire party on the record, the entire party must recuse themselves. For when the witness,
Yeah, but you see,
but let me finish.
just to hold you there, I don't want you to debate the merits and the demerits, because the proposal of the chief whip is that General Sibiya is already here. If we want to discuss, like you said, the chair said, we will itemize all those matters for Wednesday. We will discuss them. But for now, what we should do, for me, is to check if all of you agree with this proposal.
No, but that's unfair, Chair, because before the proposal of the chief whip made that proposal when it was the chief whip's opportunity to comment on the issue, to discuss the issue. And then in his input, the chief whip then proposed. Now I'm only expected to deal with the proposal and not give my input. But everyone else before me gave their input. I need to be allowed to give my input on the matter.
It's okay. If you want to give that background, you can do. But,
I have to.
But where I stand, I would persuade you to talk to the proposal. The proposal that the chief whip makes is that all of you will still be given chance to raise the views that you have around the matter. But for now, because he's proposing that we subject this matter to a legal opinion.
Chair, I'm saying that the position we have on the MKP on conflict, from day one we had the same position on the DA on conflict. It's not only the MKP that is conflicted here. The entire 4 members that the DA has given initially is conflicted. All 4. Today we find out that the 1 member that's now being removed by the DA, it's not something beautiful. The Honorable Member Breitenbach said that they knew about this. She opened the case some time ago. So when they fielded her, they knew about the conflict of interest. Removing her today is not something beautiful. It is just proving that they intentionally knew about conflict, allowed the honorable member, and all four of them, I don't know about the new honorable member, but
Yeah.
all four of them are conflicted. 3 out of the 4 needs to be witnesses. So now I'm saying, when we decide on MKP, we must also decide on DA. DA, the entire
You
the
know,
entire members of DA is conflicted.
yes, Honorable Source, I hear, you see what we must do, Honorable members. Let us direct ourselves to, I know you are politicians and you are political parties. You know, political parties, they like sniping at each other.
No, Chair, point of order. I'm not sniping at anybody. I'm raising facts. Honorable Barnard, we've spoken about it. There's conflict. The witness, our terms of reference says, any allegation that the main witness, that General Mkwanazi raises, and anyone implicated, we must investigate. General Mkwanazi implicated Honorable Barnard, he implicated Honorable Cameron, he implicated Honorable Breitenbach. That's 3. Today, the DA lets us know that Honorable Schickling has opened up a criminal case and therefore there is bias. So therefore she's removed. These are facts. I'm not sniping at any party. This thing that when it comes to corruption, it has a black face. When it comes to those who must hold them accountable, it's only a white face. The 3 out of the DA that is implicated by General Mkwanazi must become witnesses. We must question them. They have alleged part in political interference into the work of the police. We must interrogate that. If we're not going to be fair, then we can't expect the same from MKP. So I disagree with the proposal, and I say we must look into conflict for MKP and the DA. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Vessels, can I check, honorable members from the DA, do you want to speak before? Because from here, I'm going to give the MKP to reply, and then we must go on with the proceedings. I mean, can I check, okay. From Vessels, DA, do you want to speak?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, you know,
Yes, if you want to speak, hold it there. I just want to know to.
well, we'll wait.
Honorable Sangoni, would you want to speak, or what the Chief Whip said is fine with yourselves?
Yes, I think we just still stand by that proposal, Chair. Only in the event that you change the decision, then we'd want to come back. Thank you.
Okay. So we are going to do like this is Honorable Vessels, Honorable Breitenbach, and then Honorable Nomvalo. Andile, you must come closer to me.
Thank you, Chairperson. Obviously, one has an opinion on this matter, but I think the proposal is progressive. Let's move on. Let's get a legal opinion, and let's discuss the issue on, I think, Wednesday when we have a meeting that we can discuss household issues. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Breitenbach.
Thanks, Chair. I would like to suggest to the Honourable Sauls that he be a little more circumspect in the use of the word implicate. We will go with the proposal of the ANC Chief Whip, just to get the matter moving along. The meeting on Wednesday, as you well know, I cannot attend for previously arranged reasons. The Honourable Cameron won't be there, so the Honourable Klopper will present our argument on Wednesday. Thank you.
Okay. The MKP.
Chair, we disagree with the proposal. If you take that decision, you can take it on your own. We are not part of it. We are going to consult our legal advisors on this issue, because it cannot be that you can do on the left what you can't do on the right. When we're faced with the most critical issue in this committee, involving a member of this committee who was implicated by the testimony made by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, there was never a call for a legal advice. Where does this call come from? Because the senior counsel does not do what we task him to do, to say, what is the issue here? Take us through. He's not doing that. And we say, out of nothing, let us have a legal advice. Because there's absolutely nothing that is a crisis that has been put before us, except narrating events of who opened the case when and for what. So, Chairperson, we don't have confidence already in that team because they kept quiet. They never advised this committee on serious issues. Two, we disagree with what Honorable Breiterbach is saying. The senior counsel has a task of advising this committee. If that was not the case, he would not have raised the matter he's raising now. He would have come here in this committee and led the evidence if he does not have a responsibility to advise the committee. So it means he has acted ultra vires if we were to go according to what Honorable Breiterbach is saying. The problem with what he has done is that he has just given us a half-cooked legal advice, a microwaved legal advice, which is not enough, with no legal principles, a whole senior counsel. So, Chair, we disagree with this. If the committee takes that decision, take it on your own, we will consult our legal team because we know the legal advice that will be given by Andile on this matter. Thank you.
Look, no, I'm not going to give any member time to speak. You know, if you get triggered by what other members are saying, we will not finish. We will discuss this matter the whole day.
Point of order, Chair.
Point of order, Honorable Sols, is taken.
Not taking input on the issue. I just wanted to say that we have asked for a legal opinion. So it's not true that there's no legal opinion. That legal opinion should be here now so that we can have an answer to the issue. Because if we're going to allow a witness to sit there and be questioned by people who has a matter against him, it's not fair. His constitutional rights is being infringed upon because he's not having a fair trial. So there should have been a legal opinion already now because we've requested it when we addressed the issue of Honorable Barnard. So the question is just, is that legal opinion now available instead of postponing this session for a legal opinion? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Andile.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. Good afternoon to the honorable members and greetings to my colleagues as well. Chair, for us, this is a fairly simple matter because it is not the first time that a committee of parliament is confronted, with this question. And I think, Chair, if you look at the rules, you will agree with me that the rules do not say anything regarding the recusal of members. And I personally, Chair, I think there's a reason for that. And the reason is a simple one, is that you can't subject members of parliament to the requirements of independence or impartiality. If you read 5.1 of our terms of reference, it says, this committee is neither a judicial or quasi-judicial, it says, let me just read it. 5.1 under the format of the inquiry, and I think this begins from the second sentence. It is neither a judicial or quasi-judicial process, nor is it an adversarial process. Yeah, okay, I'll just stop there. So Chairperson, this committee does not perform a judicial or adjudicative function. Its function is merely to inquire into these matters and report on them to the National Assembly. So even if you are speaking about a decision in a technical legal sense, this committee won't be making any decisions. It will just report that which it has done, to the House. And of course, the House will have to take a decision whether they agree with the report of the committee as well. So, of course, Chairperson, it would be undesirable for any member of the committee to participate in its inquiry into the conduct of the member concerned. And if I listen to the conspectors of facts, Chairperson, the members we're talking about are not under investigation. I know, I'm not aware that, these members were investigating them. And of course, a member should not sit in judgment of his or her own conduct. I agree with that. But the mere fact that a member, of a committee has expressed strong views or has particular knowledge of matters under investigation does not disqualify them. I'm not sure if I've tried to simplify it. So we're not a court, Chair. We're not sitting as a court. That's my view. And of course, members of Parliament, I know I'm repeating myself, to subject them to requirements of independence and impartiality, that's not correct, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'll leave it there up until maybe there are follow-up questions. Thanks.
Look, this is what we are going to do, honorable members. Number one, I'm going to make a request to you that every time we discuss a matter, our focus must be on the matter for discussion. Because we spend a lot of time making political statements, veering away from the matter at issue. And that takes our time. Number two, I want you as honorable members to understand that we are a constitutional democracy. That is what we are in terms of architect. Mr. Tejana has read a clause in our terms of reference. And that clause that he has read, I believe it must also be read in context with the rules of Parliament. And the rules of Parliament must also be subjected to the supremacy of the law in this country. But for now, the matter has been raised by ourselves as members. And all what we are saying here has not been put to test. And maybe before I come back to this matter to tell you how we're going to move forward, let me go back to the matter of the senior counsel. This senior counsel is not a senior counsel of Parliament. This committee is a committee of Parliament which runs in terms of the rules that we ourselves as members of Parliament have adopted. And if there is any matter that has to do with the rules or our conduct as members of Parliament, don't throw that matter to the senior counsel. It is not his matter. You may have whatever feelings you have about him, but let's not draw him to matters that are not within his or the ambience of his work. Please. He has been unnecessarily attacked here. The attack on him is unjustifiable. And we must desist from doing that. So there is a provision in Rule 165 of the rules. I don't know if that provision is applicable to the matter here, which deals with integrity. But Andile is right. You know, when we are members of parliament, the reason why and the chief whip has said it here, that it's very difficult to legislate on morality. But the reason why you are called an honorable member, it's not just a cheap tag that you get on the streets, honorable Lakhanyane, honorable Lakhanyane. They call you an honorable member because there is a huge expectation on your part to be exemplary in everything that you do. But unfortunately, we cannot legislate on morality, and our rules are silent on matters like this ones. So, and this is a matter which I have personally told you in more than one occasion, sir. Just try it one day and mention my name, you will see. You will no longer see me sitting here. It's a moral stand. I don't have to discuss it with anybody. It's about my morality as a person. And it cannot even be commuted to anybody. And we cannot even try and persuade anybody to have that kind of understanding. But then what we will do, honorable members, is that we are going to proceed in this way. We are going to allow General Sibiya to come here and make a presentation. And during their presentation, where there is information that comes out that implicates the member, or a statement is made to the extent that the witness expresses their unhappiness with the presence of the member, that is where we are going to have a problem. And number two, because this committee is a committee of parliament, and attention has to be brought to the office of the Speaker in terms of Rule 165. That Speaker, in the parliament that you lead, there is an ad hoc committee comprising of the following members. And in the evidence presented so far, there are the names of these members that continue or that are being mentioned. And then the office of the Speaker as the leader of parliament will then have to lead us in that regard. So I'm not going to open this matter for a debate now.
Just a point of clarity, please, Chair. I just want to be clear. Clarity, please.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, to understand, did the legal advice, is the legal advice saying that there's no requirement for us to be impartial, and Chair, you are agreeing with that? Just for clarity, trying to have an understanding.
No, let's put the issue of the legal advice aside, Because if there is a legal advice, the legal advice must come from the office of the Speaker. That is what the Chief Whip has said here. Go and seek legal advice. So the leader of this parliament is the Speaker. And the rules enjoin us to report every matter to the office of the Speaker. So that is exactly what should happen. Senior Counsel.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members. Yeah, just in addition to what Andile drew attention to, I think it's important to draw attention to the following terms of reference that binds this committee. The first is at paragraph 1.6. It says a committee of parliament that holds a public inquiry for purposes of reporting to the NA exercises public power and is obliged to do so in accordance with, but not limited to, the fundamental principles of the rule of law, legality, rationality, procedural fairness, and justice, ensuring that its procedure and report adheres thereto. Then at 1.7, the committee agrees to conduct the inquiry in accordance with the provisions of these terms of reference, which are based on the aforesaid principles.
Yeah.
Then, just the...
There is nothing wrong with what you are saying, Senior Counsel. If you listened, I said that the rules of parliament that we have and the terms of reference and the Constitution of the Republic have to be read together if you want to make a proper interpretation of that.
And then, Chair, at the same 5.8, 5.8.1, where is this? Where is that rule that he? There's again a reference to the same principles. And can I just say, 5.1,
Chairperson? Chair?
can I just say,
Chairperson?
lastly, 5.1,
Chairperson? I'm calling an order on you, Chair.
Okay, Honorable
Chair,
Member.
you have just said a few minutes ago, the legal counsel does not have a right to advise this committee. It can only be advised by the Speaker. The reason why this meeting is on hold is because of the advice that he has initially given to us. 2, you are allowing him to proceed with his legal advices, and we will demand our right of reply. Because it can't just be left hanging. If he is advising us on the direction that we must take, we must also deliberate on his advices. I just want you to know, Chairperson.
Yeah.
And if you say he has no right to advise us, he can only lead evidence, as it has been said by Honorable Breitenbach. So be it. We can't be found wanting because we don't know exactly what he's doing now. Is he advising us, or what is happening here, Chairperson?
But
And I think you are creating more confusion.
Listen here, Honorable Nomvalo. The Senior Counsel has raised a matter here to the attention of the committee. And that can never be equated to him giving us a legal advice. He came here and said, I want you to note as the committee that you have the following members of your committee who are being mentioned in a letter that has been sent to you by General Sibiya's lawyers. That's what the Senior Counsel did, and the enfilade on the Senior Counsel must stop. It must stop. We cannot allow honorable members to continue to attack the Senior Counsel.
Point of order, Chair. I think I respected you, Chair. When I've been raising my hand, you are not pointing me. Chair, abantu base South Africa right now, bawomela ukukhuluma noBaba uSibiya bazi ukuthi uyaganga or akaganga. Let's stop wasting time where Chief Whip has also given it direction. Does in public kanjani? You, Chair, are wasting time now, continuously allowing this matter to continue. He has given an advice. If it's not an advice, what is it? So, Chair, I'm
our
asking,
time-
my plea to you, Chair, before you speak, with all respect, can we kindly respect South Africans now that we take this matter as Andile has spoken? It will be dead on that Wednesday deliberation, and we don't accept it. But we have a Wednesday to talk about that matter. For now, can we put South African first? Can you be a chair? Ngiyasabu khuluma chair right now, because the first time I spoke, I told you that you are not running the committee correctly. And today I always find myself victimized. When I pick up my hand, you jump me. And you also emphasize on time, alternates and all those things. But can I tell you this time around, Chair, you are not steering this committee right at this moment. Please protect South Africans, give South Africans the respect you've always given them. Asiyeke le ndaba sizoyikhuluma ngolesithathu, uyezwe olesithathu. Life, it's totally different. UBarnard ugangile la baba la mama lewa thatha ithombo ayinika abantu afaka impilo amaphoyisa enkingeni. It's totally different with a person othunywe umkhonto wesizwe to open a case. Totally different. We are still failing to see into clear, implicated and umuntu othunyiwe. Come on, Chair. Hlonipha abantu ngiyacela.
Okay. Look, I did not expect you to debate the matter. I expected you to raise the point of order. That point of order is ruled out, because if you want to say the chair does not recognize you, I said when I noted the hands, I said to you guys, I'm going to give the MKP chance to reply. No, we don't run a meeting like that. And if you are unhappy with the chair, do not attack the chairperson and say the chairperson is not running the meeting. We have been running these proceedings from the first day under very difficult circumstances, but we are where we are today. And I'm going to plead with you, honorable members. We have to be calm if we are going to make this committee to work. We have to be calm. There is nothing that will stop us from doing our work. The only thing which will defeat us is the attitude that we bring to the meeting and our proceedings. Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I think we should be fair. The senior counsel brought a possible perception of conflict of interest to the committee's attention. That is his prerogative. It is his due diligence to do, because we have to disclose a possible perception of conflict of interest. That's not advice, but Chairperson, let's move on, please.
Do you want to speak, Honorable Skosana?
Yes, if you can.
Do you think it's fair to speak on a matter where your name is subject of discussion?
Yeah, in fact, I just want. It's about me. I'm not going to comment on this, but I just wanted to support my colleague to say it's improper to say the evidence leader is not giving advice. He's giving advice. The fact of the matter is that he's giving advice. And you said the proposal was that Andile, like Honorable Brechenbach was saying, the Andile is from the Parliamentary Legal Service. He has mentioned what must happen. But now we are debating that with the SC. I mean, with the SC, our evidence leader. I don't think it's fair. In other words, we are saying, I don't want to go to the merits to say it's wrong for Umkhonto Wesizwe Party to open a case against anyone in this country. Therefore, it means Umkhonto Wesizwe won't be able to participate in Parliament when this matter is going to be debated.
Yeah, but you are going back to debate the issue that,
Thank you, Chair.
that we have.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to highlight that the SC is giving legal advice. It's not giving any other thing. It's not questioning the witness. It's arguing that MKP should not be here. It's not about me. This is not a private matter. Umkhonto Wesizwe has opened a case.
I want to know.
Thank you, Chair.
Do you still need some time to talk on this matter that involves your name?
No, Chair, I'll listen. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable members, we have concluded this item. Like we have said, it will still be discussed in the committee, but it has to be brought to the attention of the Speaker of Parliament. Committees of Parliament report to the Speaker on the work that they do. And the Chief Whip is right in his proposal when he says Parliament will have to get a legal opinion on this matter, because this is a matter which has to do with the rights of the citizens of this country. So let's conclude it that way, and I want to thank you for your participation in the discussions. And where you might have said things during the discussions that you may regret, when you are alone, just inform yourself that I regret what I would have said. I could have said it in a better way, but I said it different. Don't tell anybody about those regrets. Just inform yourself. That is how you become a better person. Let me check if I must give you a 9 minutes break, and so that we reorganize ourselves with General Sibiya. Will come back at 22:1. Yeah, thank you so much.
This I have not responded because it's still in my head. Ukuthi, how do I attend to it? Isimasimanga kahle sithando sami kwamanje, but angifuni ukuyiqualify ngono ngisayigijimisa eceleni. Ngibona ukuthi siqhubeka kanjani, because I think it won't be a once off. It's something that you might need for discussion.
They don't send around the whole camp of it's just in case of issue of I mean, you cut off my
That is why, if you had my contribution,
no, but again,
so I'm saying, the first are not the same. Material speaking. Was implicated in a situation where he might become a That is why my advice on that, let's allow the parliamentary, because I would imagine if this is going to come, maybe not only Scotland, but other places. That's what I was saying. The parliamentary table, we must agree to proceed. Or they must go and check whether legally this is going to affect us. And I qualify my point by saying, unless it is the make submissions which will necessitate that this person must go here as a certain then we can decide in the way we decide to collaborate. But at the moment, they are not the same. What of because it arrives in country, it's fair to say, let's be advised.
switch off.
No, it's off.
Okay. So that is why I was like, it's only fair to say the parliamentary legal commission has advised what to do in a situation like this. For on a precedent, if a matter is like this, maybe because of Shawanda would okay, give us time to proceed with the work. Manje angazi kwandi lobeshini ngoba nawandi beyathanda ukuthi advise
No, Andy, I seem to say, I think just